Squid Game is one of the smartest shows ever made, and also one of the dumbest. Because once you see what they missed, you can't unsee it. Wrong numbers, wrong deaths. Even players who die show up again. I went through every frame, and the deeper you look, the more the game starts glitching, starting with the one number they really should have gotten right. There's only supposed to be one player 69, but he isn't the only one. In episode 1, when the guards first address the players, we see him, a young man, alive and well in the dorms. But a few minutes later, before red light, green light even starts, there's another 69. This time, an old man. Same number, completely different face. And then, during the chaos of red light, green light, a third 69 appears. A woman? Sprinting for her life. And the real player 69? He's the husband. The man who won marbles from his wife, then took his own life because he couldn't live with it. This mistake is embarrassing, but the next one, they somehow made it, with one of the main characters of the entire show. Han Minyo is player 212. She says it, she wears it, it's on her jacket. In every episode, but in episode 7, the VIP's screen shows her as 202. Same face, different number, not an extra, not some background blur. She's one of the loudest characters in the show. So what happened? A glitch? Or did someone just not care? Minyo's number changed, but the next player, they changed something even bigger. You see player 447 as a woman clearly during the piggy bank scene in episode 1. But by episode 4, 447 is a man, talking, laughing, totally different person. And he's not the only one, because the next player, their number changes more than the prize pool. In episode 1, just before red light, green light, when Sang-woo and Gi-hun are talking, you see him, a man. But minutes later in the control room, 88's icon is suddenly a woman. By episode 4, it gets even messier. Right after Deoksu kills player 271, a different 88 is seen staring at the body. And later, another 88 shows up behind Il-nam and Ali, right before Tug of War. And again, a new face, sitting near Saebyok. Same number, 5 different people. So either 88's a shapeshifter, or the editors just gave up. And while 88 showed up with different faces in different scenes, the next one somehow appears multiple times in the same game. Player 248 dies, survives, panics, and wins. All in the same game. First, you see him calmly listening while the guards explain the rules. Then, boom. He's shot mid-game. Blood everywhere. But wait, now he's running in the chaos. Then somehow crossing the finish line. This isn't a player, it's a timeline fracture. But he's not the only one who dies and comes back. Back in episode 3, Thanos shoves player 257 during red light, green light, along with players 216 and 270. She falls, she's out, game over. But 2 episodes later, she's back, standing calmly on the platform before the Mingle game. The number's a little blurry, but it sure looks like 257. So either she's a ghost or someone seriously lost count. And she's not the only one who comes back from the dead during Mingle. Right after the first round of Mingle, player 60 is announced as one of the victims.
The following players have been eliminated. Player 60.
Gone. But just 1 minute later, she's back, standing near Thanos in the second round. Same with player 13, announced eliminated after round 1.
Player 13.
But by the final round, there she is again, casually walking out of the room. Then it gets worse. Player 34 and player 104, both announced dead after round 3.
Player 34, player 104.
But right before the final round, all 3 are walking out with the survivors. 104 even side by side with player 308. Like nothing happened. Either Mingle has resurrection powers or someone's been bribing the guards. And just when you think the dead are done coming back, another one returns, with a knife in his chest. Player 406 gets shot during red light, green light, clear as day, sprinting in panic, before he drops. But somehow, in episode 7, when the lights go out, he's alive again. But not for long. Stabbed by player 358 during the special game, maybe one of the secret games, is coming back to life. And while 406 waited 3 episodes to return, the next player pulls it off twice, in the same game. Player 154. First, you see him near the doors during the red light, green light panic. He's trying to escape, of course, dead. But seconds later somehow, he's back, now far from the doors, crawling for his life. before getting shot again. Same number, same uniform, 2 deaths, 1 game. But the next one doesn't die twice. They change genders between episodes. In Season 2, Episode 4, Player 382 is a woman, clearly visible, standing near Kang Dae-ho before the Six Legs game. But by Episode 6, 382 is now a man. Same number, brand new face, just in time to get eliminated during Jeggi. So either 382 is a master of disguise, or someone switched more than just the camera angle. But if you think these glitches only happen to side characters, wait until you see what they did to the leads. When Gi-hun gets his profile photo taken, he's smiling, wide, nervous, awkward. But when Junho checks his file later, that same photo? Now he looks dead serious. Not a different pic, just a different face. Sure, it's normal to use serious photos for official records. Still, it's a weird little mismatch that breaks the moment. But the next mistake? It's way more embarrassing. And it's sitting in the same file Junho was just looking at. In the first episode of Season 1, Gi-hun tries to steal money from his mom's ATM card and guesses her PIN as 0426, April 26. He says it's his birthday, but later when Junho checks the Squid Game files, Gi-hun's real birthday is listed as October 31st. So either he lied to his best friend Young-bae, lied to Squid Game, or forgot his own birthday. And yep, that's 2 mistakes. From the same file, 2 dates, 1 guy, and somehow, not even the weirdest identity mix-up, because the next player he literally changes faces mid-season. In Episode 1, during red light, green light, player 96 is a completely different guy. Different hair, different build, quietly standing behind player 250. But by Episode 7, he's front and center, the one who begs Gi-hun to let him take the first number. Just once, he says.
I want to get at least one last chance to claim ownership of my life. Please just give me the...
It's a gut punch of a moment, until you realize he just volunteered to go first on the glass bridge. He guesses 1 tile right, then jumps again, and falls. It's not exactly a continuity error, but the recast, it's jarring. And speaking of the glass bridge, one of the players in that game, he was literally older than Squid Game itself. During the glass bridge game, when the glass maker starts guessing correctly, the frontman pulls up his data to tell the VIPs about his background. And there it is. Player 17's birth year, 1897. That makes him 123 years old, born in the 19th century, and somehow still hopping glass tiles like it's no big deal. Netflix quietly patched the error later, but the files expose something even stranger. Not a wrong number. A missing one. When Junho opens the 2020 player file, the first page doesn't start with player 001. It starts with player 002. No mention of 001, no photo, nothing. At first I thought it was a mistake, a missing file, a bad sort. But then I realized Il-nam was never supposed to be in the game because he made it, which means there weren't 456 players, only 455. And the most important player was never really a player at all. But as Junho keeps digging, there's one thing that really shouldn't have lasted this long. Junho's phone is a miracle of modern tech. No charging, no battery swaps, no breaks. And yet, it lasts for days. Recording videos, taking photos, flashlight on, all while he's infiltrating a remote island with 0 outlets. It's not a plot hole, but once you notice it, you can't unsee it. Just like what one player did right before the first game. Before the first game even starts, everyone's tense, except one player in Season 2, Episode 3, while everyone's lined up signing documents. Player 152 is in the back, flexing her jaw, mogging, like she's modeling for the VIPs. It's not a mistake, but it is hilarious once you spot it. The next one, though, that was a mistake. And somehow, it made the final cut. In Season 2, Episode 2, right after the recruiter shoots himself during Russian roulette, Gi-hun is talking to Choi Woo-seok, and if you look closely, the recruiter opens his eyes. Just a little, not super obvious. Unless you've got too much time on your hands, like me. And speaking of things that really shouldn't be in the frame, the next one wasn't even part of the cast. In Season 2, Episode 7, right in the middle of a brutal guard massacre, someone makes an unexpected cameo, a cameraman, fully visible in the background, standing between the chaos like he spawned in the wrong lobby. Netflix later edited him out in the official cut. But early viewers, they caught it, and once you see it, it's all you can see. And speaking of things that shouldn't be visible, the next one made headlines. In one of the weirdest real-world crossovers, Squid Game accidentally doxed someone. In Season 1, Episode 1, when the recruiter gives Gi-hun his card, you can clearly see the phone number. Not a prop, not blurred, a real South Korean number that belonged to a real woman. What happened next? Thousands of prank calls. So many. Netflix had to apologize and patch the scene. And yes, one YouTuber even tried calling it. Didn't get picked up. And speaking of bloopers, Netflix missed. The next one made it into the final cut. While running from loan sharks in Episode 1, Gi-hun crashes into Sae-byok and knocks her drink to the ground. And what does he do? He picks it up and spends the next few seconds trying to put the straw back in, missing every time, until it finally goes in. If you look closely, Ho-yeon, the actor who plays Sae-byok, tries to hide her laugh, but it's still there. It wasn't scripted. Just one of those rare bloopers. That somehow made the scene better. But the next one? It broke my brain for a full day when I spotted it. In Episode 4, the doctor gets handed a hard-boiled egg, but this one's different. Inside, a secret cheat note. And here's the problem. The egg looks completely untouched. No crack, no opening, no cut in the shell. If someone slid a paper inside, you'd expect a break, or at least some glue marks. But there's nothing. Some fans think the egg was secretly emptied and glued back together. Others think it was just a magic trick, but none of that's shown. Just egg. Note. Move on. It's not the biggest plot hole, but it's one of those blink and you'll miss it moments that doesn't actually make sense. And the next one, it makes even less sense. In Season 2, Episode 1, Gi-hun wakes up from a nightmare. In the dream, he's just been watching security footage. He hears the doorbell, opens it, and standing there is the front man, holding the severed heads of Sae-byok and Sang-woo. There's just one problem. Gi-hun hasn't seen the front man yet. Not in that mask. Not in that outfit. Not even once. So how's he dreaming about someone he's never seen? Maybe the writers just wanted a cool scene? Or maybe the editors didn't realize it breaks the logic. And if that detail felt off, wait till you catch what one character doesn't do in a moment where everyone else flinches. In Season 2, Episode 6, Jun-ho and his team are searching a remote island by boat, hoping it's where the Squid Game is happening. One of the men finds a hidden door. He opens it. Boom! A trap goes off. Everyone on the ship flinches in shock, except Captain Park. He just stands there, calm, still, like he expected it. It's quick, easy to miss, but fans caught it, and they think it's a sign. Captain Park didn't flinch because he already knew. Some believe he's working with the masked men, or maybe even for them. Yeah, it's a stretch. But the next moment, it's even harder to believe. In Episode 7, Player 246, the dad with the sick daughter, gets executed. Or does he? He's lined up with the others. A guard raises the gun, fires. But if you look closely, the aim dips just before the shot, and we never see the body fall. Now here's where it gets interesting. That player, Park Young-seok, had a quiet connection to one of the guards. Before the games, Guard 11, No Yul, met his daughter, gave her candy, tracked her to the hospital, returned her hat, watched her from a distance. And when she saw Young-seok in the arena, she started watching him too. Some fans believe she was the one who pulled the trigger and let him live. It's not confirmed. It's not technically a mistake, but it does make you say, what the fudge? Yeah, trying to keep this PG. And the next one, the richest man in the room, had a secret way out the whole time. In Episode 4, Il-nam gets locked in at the wrists, just like everyone else during Tug of War. But after his team wins, the wrist locks are suddenly gone. No key, no help, no explanation. Some fans think he had a secret escape plan in place, like the game was never really a risk for him at all. And looking back, maybe it never was. And speaking of not being careful, this next moment, it breaks the entire logic of how the games were supposed to stay hidden. At the end of Episode 2, Jun-ho follows the van carrying player 456 to the Squid Game compound. But here's the thing, his headlights are on, bright, obvious, full beam, and they're the only two cars on the road. No stealth, no tailing technique, and somehow no one notices. For a show built on secrecy, this one's hard to miss. You'd think they'd notice the guy tracking their most important cargo. But if a detective can slip in with his headlights on, what happens if a main player never even joins? Because the real question is, what if Gi-hun never entered the game? How would the games change? Watch. What if Gi-hun was never in Squid Game to find out? Because the ending might sound absurd until it makes way too much sense.